Hey everyone, so the Grammys are coming up this weekend, as you might know, and I'm a huge music lover, so I kind of wanted to just go over my favorites in each major category. And this isn't based on, any odds or any rumblings of who I think is going to win or any predictions. These are my personal favorites in each category, who I personally would like to see win or would cast my vote for based on having heard everything that was nominated. Starting off with Record of the Year. Now, just quick background of the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year. You may not know or you might know, but just for quick background, Record of the Year is more so about the production and the performance of the song. So everything that happens in the studio. So the production, the musicality, the audio engineering, the performance quality, all of those things. And Song of the Year is everything that happens before that. So basically the writing process, the lyrics, the composition, the melodies, etc. For Record of the Year, I'm in between DTMF by Bad Bunny and Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. But ultimately, I'd have to go with DTMF by Bad Bunny. That was personally my favorite song of this year. The production is amazing because it weaves in, as much as Bad Bunny's music does, it weaves in the traditional Puerto Rican reggaeton sounds with hip-hop influence, pop influence, and the tone of the instrumentation balances this kind of somber, melancholic feeling and also this bouncy, danceable atmosphere. It balances those two things very well throughout the track. And of course, Bad Bunny does the singing, he does the rapping. I mean, his performance is great in the song. And he also brings in, I don't know if it's a choir, I think it's just like a group of Puerto Rican teenage boys to kind of do his background, and it brings a very fun, kind of unique energy to the song. And from an audio engineering standpoint, they do a lot of cool lo-fi passes, a lot of cool reverb effects. The mix is perfect. No matter where you play it, the mix comes through so well. So that would definitely be my pick for Record of the Year. I could see Luther getting it, but my personal favorite, honestly, when you take into consideration the entire song, is DTMF. For Song of the Year, I would go with Wildflower, actually, by Billie Eilish, because this is a songwriting award, and that song is beautifully written. It's a song where she really kind of bears her heart, and it delves into a lot of complicated feelings of guilt, of anxiety, and it somehow manages to also be incredibly catchy. It's not even a traditional pop banger. It's an actual it's a very much a stripped down emotional cut, but it somehow managed to be a huge hit because it's just so catchy. And so yeah, Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas are just an amazing songwriting duo, and they always clean up at the Grammys, and I can picture them getting this one for Song of the Year as well. Now moving on to Album of the Year, which is it's a very stacked category. Debí Tirar Ma Foto by Bad Bunny was very good. Swag by Justin Bieber, kind of a goofy title, but was actually a good album. Clips like God Sort 'Em Out, good album. Kendrick Lamar, GNX, great. Leon Thomas, Mutt was really, really good. Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia was one of his best yet. The Gaga album I listened to before making this video, it was decent. Gaga's normally a very forward-thinking artist, and it seems like on this one, she didn't really push boundaries as much as I kind of expected or would have liked. And I also just didn't have that pop star banger quality. It was definitely more subdued than her previous entries. And Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend, I didn't bother listening to that. I'm sorry. You can get mad at me if you want. I'm not listening to that album. I'm a grown man. But I'm gonna go with a sleeper for Album of the Year because people are gonna be debating, oh, should it be Bad Bunny? Should it be Kendrick? Should it be Bieber? I'm going to pick Leon Thomas, Mutt as the Album of the Year. And if you don't agree, then I truly advise you to sit down and listen to that album front to back, and then come back and see if you still disagree as much, because the album is just, it's top tier. Mainly the instrumentation. Leon Thomas is a very talented musician, and he's one of the only people on there who I can say is a talented musician in terms of instrumentation, production, playing instruments. His voice has a great quality to it. Honestly, reminds me a bit of a D'Angelo, which, R.I.P. D'Angelo. But his voice quality reminds me a bit of that type of neo-soul style. And the album is just such a smooth listen with so many lush, layered vocals, high quality vocal runs by Leon, really good features from Masego and from Wale and even from Ty Dolla $ign has a great feature on this album. Freddie Gibbs on the Mutt remix. And it's short. It's only 14 songs, 45 minutes long, and you you leave that album wanting so much more from Leon Thomas, and I definitely am going to be on the lookout for his music. If you don't know, he was Andre on Victorious, which is just crazy how, 15 years later after that show comes out, we're talking about him getting Album of the Year at the Grammys. But he was talented. When I was a kid, I thought he was the most talented one on the show, and he proved that he is. He made something truly great with this album. Okay, moving on to Best New Artist. This one's quick and easy. I just spent 2 minutes talking about how talented Leon Thomas is, so I gotta go with Leon Thomas here. And he's not even a new artist. I don't like the way they define this category, because he's been dropping music, or he's been songwriting and producing for a long time. Maybe it's because he hasn't dropped as many albums. I get that, but he's been in the game for a long time. The Marias are so good. I advise everyone here to go check them out. And Olivia Dean is definitely an up-and-coming pop star. I have a few of her songs saved, but I'll definitely go with Leon Thomas here. I mean, he's just the most talented one. This isn't a major category, but I gotta give a quick shout out to Producer of the Year, which is my favorite new category, because I love to see production be highlighted. I'm a production guy, like that's what I listen to music for. So Producer of the Year, I'm gonna give it to a sleeper. I'm gonna go with Dijon for his work on Justin Bieber's album Swag. I can't even say it with a straight face, I'm sorry. But honestly, the production on that album is amazing, and it kind of carries the album, I think, is why I'm leaning towards it. Like, it's a good album, but I think mainly because of its production. I don't think Justin Bieber is on any sort of transcendent thing here. Dijon's production is just great, and like, I can listen to the whole album, just instrumental versions only, and I think I'd enjoy it exactly as much. So I guess I'm biased towards this because the production literally carried that album to being good, that I would give it to Dijon. And I know you're thinking, oh, but Soundwave. Yes, Soundwave is very talented. I think that this album wasn't necessarily some of his best work if you look at Soundwave's whole career. If this award was around before, he would have gotten it probably twice already. But I think his production on GNX kind of bleeds together a bit at a lot of junctures, and I'm gonna flesh that out more when I talk about Best Rap Album, when I talk about GNX. But yeah, shout out Dijon. He's been at it for a while, but he's finally getting his shine. I would love to see him get more shine as an up-and-coming young producer. Songwriter of the Year, which is another new category that I love its inclusion. I'm gonna go over this real quick. I'll give it to Tobias Jesso Jr. He's won it before, and I'm not gonna get into all of his songwriting credits. Just look them up and you'll be amazed. Like, he's written a lot of really good songs from this year, and just in general, but especially this year. That actually leads me into the hip-hop categories. I wanted to kind of talk about the general categories and then get more specific into the hip-hop genre category, because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff happening there this year. Starting off with Best Rap Performance, Chains and Whips is obviously great by Clips and Kendrick, but I actually would give it to TV Off by Kendrick. That was just my personal favorite rap performance from this group, mainly because he just switches his flow so many times on that song. Like, there's actually 2 separate beats in the song, and within each beat he switches his flow like 3 or 4 times, and all the flows are so catchy, and they just make you just bop your head, and the track just has so much personality and flair and uniqueness. Like, a lot of Kendrick tracks have that eccentric personality and flair, but for him to carry that over to a major pop rap record, which he frequently does, but on this one he does it exceptionally well, so I gotta give it to him here. And likewise, Best Rap Song, out of this category, I'd also give it to TV Off. Best Rap Album, however, and this is my big, maybe it's a hot take, I don't know, it's GNX obviously was a good album. I said this first week, and I do think that it is Kendrick's weakest album since Section 80, and obviously, like, the man has dropped 3 or 4 classics back to back to back, but I don't come back to this album as much as I come back to Damn, or as much as I come back to Pimp a Butterfly, or even Mr. Morale, honestly, even grew on me. This is not an album that grows on me. This is an album that just kind of, it was there in the moment, and it kind of faded away a bit. And okay, yes, that's a personal thing, but these are all personal opinions. Also, one thing about GNX is a lot of the production kind of runs into that same, he went full on with the whole West Coast thing, but I think because of that, unlike some of his other albums, there's less diversity in the production. So a lot of the production has that same West Coast kind of open hat on the first count, rims and perks bouncing off the kick instead of the snare, side chain 808s and kicks. I mean, it's, and it's great West Coast style, but he runs into that on Squabble Up, on Hey Now, on TV Off, and on Peekaboo. And I did find myself listening to the album going, okay, a lot of this production does feel, in terms of the drum patterns especially, does feel not unique enough. And there are some very unique tracks on here, like, The Hard Part 6, and like Gloria, and like Reincarnated. But But when you're talking about against these heavy hitters, and I haven't even gotten to my favorite album from this category yet, when you're talking about these heavy hitters, it's very small things that set them apart, in my opinion. But for me, Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator, is the best rap album to drop in this category. This album came out November 24, it's January 26, and I'm still listening to it like on a weekly basis. To me, Kendrick and Tyler kind of changed roles here, because to me, Chromacopia is actually the more thematically intricate album. I mean, even taking from the cover art, you have Tyler, the Creator, in this kind of creepy vaudeville mask, and over the course of the album, he literally takes the mask off, and he's slowly showing you all of the intricate layers of his psyche and a lot of his backstory that we don't get in his other albums, like with his dad, or like with him trying to fake and put out an image to us as listeners that he actually didn't even partake in himself. Wrestling with his identity, sexuality. I mean, it kind of packages up all of those themes into one album, and it does it through the writing and also sonically. Every single song on this album sounds completely different. Like, it's insane. And there's very few albums you can say that about, and just sonically speaking, every single song sounds different. And this is his production, like this is his own production. It's just crazy to pull this off. I mean, the Saint Chroma intro is almost like a cinematic score, main titles opening. You've got Darling I, which is a 2000, sounds like a 2003 Neptunes track. Judge Judy, which is just straight kind of alternative folk cut with some rap in there. Sticky, which is a HBCU marching band beat. I mean, he goes just to such crazy lengths to establish the sonic identity of this album. Balloon sounds like a Japanese pop track from like the late 70s, like Japanese post-disco pop. I mean, it's just crazy. And even lyrically, in terms of storytelling, like Take Your Mask Off, storytelling is amazing. Like Him, one of the best storytelling rap songs to come out in the last 5 years. I mean, this is honestly Tyler at the top of his game, and he definitely needs to take home best rap album from this album, especially if he took it home for Igor and for Call Me If You Get Lost, which in my opinion were great albums, but still weren't as good as this album. Like, he just needs to take it home. I know Clips is lurking in the background. I know Kendrick might be the fan favorite or might be the voters favorite based on last year as well. But, and this might even be the first time that this has happened, but Tyler, the Creator, fully outdid Kendrick with his album, Chromacopia. Honestly, I could also see this getting Album of the Year. The only reason I give Leon Thomas Mutt the edge over it is just because of the technical aspect of Leon flexing his musicality on the album, which I think is something that's dying. Unedited vocals, live studio takes, non-digital instrumentation all over an album, somewhat dying method of crafting an album. So yeah, those are the favorites in the categories I chose to speak on. Once again, those are my opinions and my personal favorites. If you've got your own, make your own YouTube video. Don't get mad at me. Actually, you know what? If you disagree with me, drop your opinion in the comments, argue with me, curse me out, I don't care. The engagement is actually good for the algorithm either way. So yeah, go ahead. And yeah, subscribe for more film content, music content, comic content, sports content, analysis, video essays, rankings. I've got a lot of interesting videos planned. So I'll see you next time.